Boy, oh boy, Iran, they want the war over, and they want it over yesterday. You know, things are so far worse in Iran than we even have any idea of, right? You know, Iran's a theocracy, but it's also a military dictatorship. And their religious leader is gone. Their military devastated. Their economy is in complete collapse. And when you're a dictatorship, a theocracy, and you lose all of these things, it's hard to keep control over the 90 million people in your country. And the president of Iran wants to end the war. See, there's a civil war going on inside Iran's leadership. It's getting worse all the time as things get more dire inside Iran, between the civilian government and the lunatic religious fanatics in the IRGC, the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. And look at this. The Iranian president calls for end to war. The Iranian president called, this was yesterday. The Iranian president yesterday called for an end to the country's war with the United States. See, this is begging Trump. They're begging Trump. We can't handle much more of this. The Iranian president yesterday called for an end to the country's war with the United States while taking an unusually pointed swipe at hardliners inside his own regime who continue pushing a tougher line. You see it? I mean, they're in trouble. They're in trouble. The Iranians don't talk like this unless they're in big trouble. The Iranian president made the remarks during a speech to the General Assembly of the Islamic Association of the Medical Society of Iran. He's a doctor. Arguing that Tehran should move to end the conflict. While he believes the country still holds a strong negotiating position, he's got to throw a bone. This is wild. By the way, welcome. My name is Brian. This is where MAGA comes to talk. The comments marked a notable shift in tone from some of the harder line voices inside Tehran, where powerful factions have continued calling for resistance despite mounting military and economic pressure. That economic pressure is what's doing them in, right? And if you notice, this comes right after this first true embargo, what President Trump described as the economic D-Day against Iran that Scott Bessent is in charge of. He then appeared to turn his frustration towards critics within Iran who, in his view, are demanding more confrontation without bearing the consequences themselves. Isn't this something? I mean, this is nothing short of the beginning of the end from the Iranian mindset. You know, we won this war on day one, right? I know liberals, never Trumpers, refuse to accept that, but the United States, President Trump won the war on day one. Yeah, 350% inflation, and it's getting worse for him. This is what he said. In the meantime, some people are sitting outside the circle because they do not know the state of the government. See, this is the president, the state of the parliament, and the state of the commanders. They make comments and analysis even though they have not experienced any suffering or hardship. And then they talk about the cost. They do not find a single clause in this agreement that indicates a commitment. All commitments are related to the other party, he said. The remarks expose an increasingly public divide inside the Iranian government over how long the regime can sustain the current confrontation. See, what's going on here is this massive economic depression that's going on, right? The Weimar Republic level inflation and everything that they're going through. These religious fanatics in the IRGC keep fighting. The Iranian president has to try to keep the country running, and they're on the verge of a collapse. I tell you, this is a whole new way of warfare that President Trump has waged against Iran, and it is working. I mean, this is the first time we've seen a major disagreement with the two factions of the government, the IRGC and the civilian government. Iran has faced growing pressure from the United States, including military action, sanctions, and efforts to squeeze the regime's access to oil revenue and foreign trade. See, this is what the economic D-Day is all about. It's about stopping any flow of commerce, cash, everything. the economic damage has become harder for Tehran to ignore. The Iranian president acknowledged that ordinary Iranians are feeling the effects of inflation and the broader cost of war, while warning that aggressive slogans come with real consequences. Criticizing the problems of inflation and issues arising from the war is not consistent with the slogans of some. While we chant slogans, we must also accept their severity. The Iranian president's comments were striking because they came from inside a system where the most consequential national security rests with the supreme leader, blah, 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 goes on. So this is the beginning of the end. This is the first major acknowledgement that the war's been lost from Iran, right? This is, and what he's saying is, I can no longer run the government. The government will no longer be functioning because of the economic hardships we're facing because of, the economic D-Day that President Trump has brought in. So it's really a foreshadowing. The president of Iran is preparing the public for this. I've got a lot to cover on the program, but I'd very much like to hear your thoughts on this. The number is toll-free and pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yeah, it's Richie. Good morning.
Richie.
Gonna say something to you. I think President Trump's instincts are pretty good, and I don't have inside information. But from what you just said, what the president said and everything like that, you don't negotiate. You don't put them to the point where they go and negotiate with you. You defeat somebody. There's no more negotiation.
No. This isn't. There are no negotiations. This is the president of Iran. There's no. President Trump said a couple days ago, there's no more negotiations going on with Iran.
Yeah, but that's the point I'm going to come to you with. I'm afraid once again he's going to say, okay, now it's time. They'll talk. Let's talk. It's not a matter of talking anymore. I'll be satisfied when I see all these creeps get on a plane and get the hell out of that country. All these people that are still talking to the president, that are not suffering the consequences themselves inside the country. Those are the people that you got to worry about if we negotiate.
Well, I'll tell you. You know what I could see happening here, Richie? No. There's no negotiation going on. This is the Iranian president.
I know that now, but
what I'm telling you, what I could see happening here, and maybe it's already happening, but what the Iranian president did here, it wasn't so much. I don't think it was so much a message for the Iranians or anything. I think it was a message back here to the United States, and he very well may become an informant for the United States and let us know where these IRGC nutbag leaders are so we can blow them up. This guy wants to end the war because he knows the country's on the verge of collapse, and he is that's a hardcore attack on the IRGC from him.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. I listened to a podcaster. I'm sure you do too. He moved from England to the United States. His father is he's Iranian. He's born there.
Well, you talking about Patrick Bet David?
No, Tusi.
I don't know who that is.
Tusi.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh boy, you'd love it. Yeah, he has inside information from within the country. He's been right on the dime. But to make with everything. But what I'm trying to say to you is his claim is this government it's not like the United States with the parliament and everything. It's got tentacles all over the place on purpose. They did this.
Yeah.
Because and now it's very hard to this I don't know how you would say it, break this cabal.
There's no direct, like person in charge or group in charge. It's everything. That's correct.
They're all over the place. They're like cockroaches. They're like ants without the queen.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
The queen is gone, but they're rogue.
Yeah.
How do you beat somebody? Now I'm not talking about that we didn't win the war, but we haven't won the peace. And that's the big factor.
Bunch of slogans.
It's a difference.
While all that may be true, what the president of Iran is saying is they don't have any money to keep the government functioning, and the inflation. So these exactly. So that's what the president's doing.
Let them. Yes, I'm scared that he's going to feel sorry for these people and say, okay, now it's time to negotiate. You're
No.
on your knees. No, you don't. No,
No.
please.
No.
I hope he listens to your show. Please
No.
don't do it again.
I don't think. I don't
He
think so.
stops his
I
thing-
don't think so. He's said twice this week clearly that negotiations are a waste of time. He's going to starve them out now.
They are. Oh, that to me, and it's happening at no greater time. And I'm going to say something to you about. You've mentioned a couple of times. This nut that's running in Florida is the greatest for Senate.
Nixon, Angie Nixon,
is the greatest gift that we can have. Her and the guy in Michigan because we don't even have to run a commercial. All we have to do to the American people is run their commercials. Let the American people see what they really are.
Well, if
Because
you've noticed, Abdul in Michigan, they're distancing themselves from him. You're not seeing him all over television like you were a week or two ago. They're already kind of phasing him out.
This is going to be some election, and I hope that people. There are no moderate Democrats. People better get wise up. These people. Remember the ones that they say, "No, I'm not like them." Those are the same ones saying we're one big tent. I don't want to have any. These people that have to be outcasted.
No, they will be.
Because
There's going to be a great big blue flush. Hey, Rich, I do appreciate the call. I got a lot to get into, but I agree with most of what you said. But no, what President Trump's doing in Iran, it's pretty obvious. He's starving them out in Iran, and it's obviously working. And the president of Iran, what he did is he acknowledged, and when he gave that speech, it was before this economic D-Day has really taken effect, because they're working on it now. But to close down everything really so they're already on the verge of economic collapse by the admission of the president of Iran before President Trump and Scott Bessett's, the Treasury Secretary's, economic D-Day. All right, now if you're on hold, hang in there. If you'd like to call in, you're more than welcome. The number is toll-free, 888-465-2631. The president had a great rally last night. I got a lot to cover. This is the president last night in South Carolina.
But communism is the single greatest threat to our country in history, including World War I, World War II, Pearl Harbor, 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we're going to crush the radical Democrats at the ballot box this November. And we're going to defeat communism in America once and for all. We're going to defeat it. It's never worked. It's dirty. It's filthy. It's unhappy.
That's right.
Did you ever see a happy communist?
No.
You ever see a communist laugh? I never saw it. I've known communists. They don't laugh. They're very unhappy people. We want to be happy. With your vote for Darlene on Tuesday, we're going to send a message straight to the Democrat Party headquarters in Washington. We're going to tell them that we will never abolish ICE. We will never surrender our Constitution. And we will never allow our country to even think about being a communist or even a socialist country. We're not going to let it happen.
Yeah, it was a great rally last night. And, he's right. Communism, the Democrat Socialist of America are communist. Now, many of them are Muslim Trojan horse guys that are working for the same cause as the left, and that's to destroy the United States. But, Joe McCarthy was right. And the only reason it doesn't seem like Joe McCarthy was right, or so many people think he wasn't right, is because liberals write the history books, right? And the liberals have written the history books in a way to make Joe McCarthy seem like was nuts. But Joe McCarthy not only was right, he was a great futurist. They used to talk about all these futurists, like Isaac Asimov, people like that. And Joe McCarthy was actually a futurist about the communist takeover. They were taking over then and infiltrating then, and here we are in 2026, and they're making the move. And this is Angie Nixon on MS Now. She's got this lunatic bookstore in Jacksonville, Florida. And Angie Nixon, she's the gift that keeps on giving. She really is. And if you notice, as I was telling Richie, you're not seeing Abdul anymore because he's a turnoff to people, right? All those weird connections. But Angie Nixon is all over television. She's on MS Now like Michael Avenatti used to be on CNN. I mean, it's like constant. And she's becoming the face of Democrat socialism. So here she is on MS Now yesterday. And this guy that's interviewing her, he's Muslim. They have a lot of Muslims on the air over there at MS Now. She's talking about her bookstore. Listen to this.
Exactly. And yes, that is a banned bookstore. And we do more than just having banned books there.
Okay, now let's say this. Her bookstore is this radical revolutionary bookstore. It's a banned bookstore. If the books are banned, how does she have a bookstore in the United States that has these books? If the books truly are banned, she wouldn't be able to have the books. So her banned bookstore actually cancels out the whole idea that the books indeed are banned. They're not banned. She has a whole bookstore where she sells books that she claims are banned, right? But they're not because they're for sale in a bookstore in Florida. So, that's how stupid she is.
Exactly. And yes, that is a banned bookstore. And we do more than just having banned books there. It's actually a community hub. We offer free mental health resources and
the last place you want to go is to a radical leftist Democrat socialist bookstore for mental health
services. We offer free health care clinics, free tutoring, free mentorship programs, right? Free Plan B, because a lot of those people in the area, they don't have access to things.
Free Plan B, that's the abortion pill.
And we use it in a way to help organize the community.
Wait, she's giving out abortion pills? Is that what she's saying? Is that even legal in the state of Florida? Did Ron DeSantis see this? What kind of bookstore is giving out abortion pills? Oh my goodness. No, she's nuts. Welcome everyone. My name's Brian. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, available wherever you get podcast, and make sure you follow and subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe on YouTube, guys, and like the video. When you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found the channel. So Darlene Graham's very important. Here's a clip. This is the president last night at the rally. Can somebody explain to me how you can have a bookstore that sells only banned books? Because if you're selling them in the bookstore, the books are not banned, right? That just doesn't make sense to me. I'm confused. All right, so here's the president talking about the great Darlene Graham.
I think Lindsey respected Darlene more than any other person he knows, including me. That does not make me happy. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that, but one of those things. But with your help this November, we're going to stop the radical left Democrat communists here in South Carolina and all across the nation.
Yeah. See, Darlene Graham, I know they're running around asking her all these, giving her all these pop quizzes everywhere, and she's not a professional politician. She's new to the game because her brother died unexpectedly. But she'll do what we need in the Republican Party, right? Vote for the Save America Act. The guy she's running against, he'll be with Thune obstructing it. We need a new leader of the Republicans in the Republican-controlled Senate. She'll help us with that. Not only will she vote in favor of the Save America Act, and remember, the Save America Act will solve 90% of the problems this country's facing, because the Democrats' true representation will finally be realized when proof of citizenship is required to vote, or to register to vote, and voter ID is required to vote. The Democrats are going to be few in numbers. So I just play a little bit of this. This is Darlene Graham. She came out on stage to speak at the rally last night.
Thank you. Good evening, South Carolina.
She looks a lot like her brother.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you so very much. And first, I want to begin by saying thank you for your prayers for our family. They mean more to me than you will ever know.
I still can't believe Lindsey is gone. Can you?
Lindsey was amazing, and I think he's looking down right now.
Absolutely.
So again, thank you for your prayers. Lindsey and I grew up in central South Carolina. But I have great memories of Myrtle Beach. We used to come vacation here. What a great coast. In Central, we grew up in one room in the back of a bar and liquor store.
Wow.
Where our parents worked long, hard hours to make ends meet.
See, this is one of the things, you know, it's like with Byron Donalds, who struggled growing up. This is one thing that the uniparty fake Republican rhinos, this is a nightmare to them. Regular people getting elected to government, they hate that more than anything. It's one of the big reasons they hate President Trump.
That's where we've learned a strong work ethic and the value of a dollar. For 30 years, I've worked hard for the people of South Carolina. For the past 7 years, I've led a state agency with 130 employees and a $90 million budget.
Wow.
I turned it from a struggling agency into a national model. Thank you. For that reason, I was elected president of a national organization for blind agencies. I've served on our state's workforce development board.
See, this is important what she's doing. You know, you don't see people go out and give their resume like this too often. But since she was put into this position unexpectedly, people don't know what her background is. So she's letting people know, right? And I think it's pretty important that she did this.
Preparing South Carolinians for jobs of tomorrow. Now, the critics say I shouldn't run for the Senate. Mm-hmm. They say I'm not a politician.
That's exactly why she should run.
You know what I say? Guilty as charged. And by the way, President Trump had never served in an elected office before.
That's right.
And I think he's done a damn good job.
She's perfect. Perfect.
I'm a volleyball mom, and I love watching my daughter play. She's sitting right over there. And I know boys do not have any place in girls' sports, certainly not in the locker room. I am strongly pro-life. Every life is precious, and I'm honored to be endorsed by Susan B. Anthony, Pro-Life America,
awesome,
and the National Right to Life Committee. I will always stand for the Second Amendment. To me, gun control is how steady you hold your weapon.
That's a good one. I like that.
The Save America Act was the first bill I co-sponsored because if you need an ID to check out a library book, you definitely need one to vote.
That's right.
And you know what else? I'll end the filibuster to save it and get it passed. I loved my brother Lindsay, and I miss him so much every day. But on illegal immigration, I'm tougher than he was. It's simple. If you are here illegally, you've got to go.
You know, I was only going to play a clip of this. I'm going to play more of it. And she's awesome, isn't she? Darlene Graham is exactly, she is a MAGA senator. This is, boy, oh boy, this is what we need with all of our senators, isn't it?
For the past 2 years, President Trump has been cleaning up the Joe Biden immigration mess, and I will stand with him. I will have President Trump's back 100%. I oppose DEI. I oppose the woke agenda. Sorry, liberals, but I don't apologize for any of that. I am a proud, red-blooded American. I believe America is the greatest country in the history of the world.
You know, I gotta say, I got goosebumps. You guys got goosebumps? I really do. I've got goosebumps. This reminds me of the Trump speech when he came down the escalator. Right? This is awesome. You know.
I'm honored to have President Trump's endorsement and Senator Tim Scott and Congressman Russell Fry and Congressman William Timmons and dozens more standing with me tonight. I believe in teamwork, and for us to move our agenda forward, we must work together as a Republican team.
Yep.
And I am so very blessed that Lindsay's staff is going to stay with me.
Awesome. That's
they
great.
They are like family to us.
That's great. So she's got senior people.
They are the gold standard when it comes to constituent services for the people of South Carolina. Wouldn't y'all agree? They are amazing. Now, my opponent and I have some key differences.
Here we go.
So I was in Washington for only 2 weeks before I passed the Russia and Iran Sanctions Act through the Senate. I then passed the deciding vote to confirm President Trump's Attorney General, Todd Blanche. Simply put, I've done more in 20 days than Ralph Norman has done in 20 years.
That's right.
Also, did you know that we have paid my opponent $1.7 million in salary? You know what he's done to earn it? He's passed one ceremonial bill and he named a post office.
There you go.
2 things. You know, I actually worked as a postal carrier for a while. We had a term that matches his record. Undeliverable.
She's pretty good. Just like 2 weeks on the job.
The only person my opponent has delivered for is himself. My opponent is now one of the 25 richest members of Congress. He got richer in office, $13 million richer. And during COVID, he took $600,000 in free government loans and never paid a dime back. Shame. I don't know about you, but I certainly don't think he's looking out for the people of South Carolina. Did you know that President Trump had to call my opponent down to the White House and convince him to vote for the One Big Beautiful Bill, or it would have never passed?
Oh, my goodness. He didn't just do it?
We already have enough problem Democrats. We don't need a problem Republican.
That's right. I like her a lot. She's awesome.
And that's not all, folks. Earlier this week, my opponent made a few surprising statements. Instead of protecting Social Security, he promised to cut it. And illegal immigration, he said, and I quote, "We've got to have a pathway for illegal immigrants." I believe there's a word for what Ralph Norman is describing: amnesty. My position is simple. If you are here illegally, your pathway is to go back.
That's right.
Finally, I think my opponent's a little confused on what he wants to do. First, he wanted to go to Washington to drain the swamp. Then, after a decade, he wanted to come back to South Carolina to run for governor. Then South Carolina rejected him. Now, all of a sudden, he wants to go back to Washington. He has run for office 14 times.
Thank you, Natalie Harp's office. I appreciate those kind words in the chat.
Always chasing the next office. You know what that's called? Career politician.
That's right.
I am many things, a problem solver, a mother, a leader, but I am not a career politician. I will take the South Carolina conservative values I learned in the back of that liquor store and beer joint with me to Washington. South Carolina needs a fighter. I will fight like hell against the Democrat socialists trying to destroy this country. And I will fight for President Trump and everything we believe in. Thank you. I humbly ask for your vote to be your voice in the United States Senate. Please go vote on Tuesday and take 10 friends with you. Thank you. God bless South Carolina. God bless President Trump. And God bless the greatest country in the world, the United States of America.
You know, I was only going to play like a clip or two of that. And she's so good, I just played her whole speech. And I got to tell you, that was a home run. You know how you can judge a man? You know how you can judge a man? What's the best way to judge a man? Do you guys know? His children. Look at Biden's children. They're both junkies, in and out of rehab their whole life. You know, Lindsey Graham adopted his sister after their parents died and raised her, and look how she turned out. You know, I can't believe Lindsey's gone. I didn't realize how much I was connected and liked Lindsey. You know, you guys that way too? That was amazing. Not only is she good, she's great. She's MAGA. She doesn't play around. And I got to tell you, she may not be a professional politician, but she's got this natural presence. She's a leader, and she's going to be a great future MAGA leader in the United States Senate, and she's exactly what we need. And it's not, you know, I know a lot of these never Trumpers and rhinos when I say, you know, we need people like her to vote for what the president wants to be voted on and the way he wants it voted. And, oh, you know, you want rubber stamp people. No, she's a free thinker. She just happens to agree with us and the president. We have the same worldview on everything for this great country. I'm going to take a quick break, and if you'd like to call in, you're more than welcome. And some of you have been calling in, and you're welcome to call in. The number is toll-free, and it's pinned in the live chat on YouTube, 888-465-2631, 888-465-2631. It's a toll-free call no matter where you are located. Your thoughts on anything I brought up so far certainly are welcome, and I've got a lot of other things I'm going to be covering on the program. All right? We'll be back right after this. I'm in the Jupiter Joe radio studio with Jupiter Joe. You know, Joe, a lot of people I know are wondering, can I retire? Am I too young to retire? Do I have enough money or even income to retire? And I'm sure you hear that a lot from people.
Those are probably the three biggest questions we get from clients. Can I retire? Do I have enough money? Am I too young? Am I too old? All the gamut. And here's what I'll tell you. It's all a numbers game. If you got the numbers, we can do it. That means how much money do you have and how much income can we give you? It's that simple.
You know, I think the biggest mistake people can make is assuming that they don't have enough money to retire.
I have people that actually call and apologize to me because they don't want to give me their numbers. They'll say, I don't have a lot. It doesn't matter what your number is. It's just making sure you can make that work for you.
Well, that's what's great about annuities, because with an annuity, you're guaranteed an income stream every month for the rest of your life. How does that work?
So it's this simple. You put in a lump sum of money, and you'll know exactly to the penny how much money you're going to get per month. Just like Social Security. Ask anybody how much their Social Security is going to be, and they'll know to the penny. Well, guess what? An annuity works exactly the same way.
Don't make the mistake of trying to plan your retirement by yourself. Call Joe Thomas, schedule your no-charge consultation, and after that consultation, Joe Thomas is going to put together a custom proposal just for you based on your situation, your goals, and where you want to be. Give him a call. The number is 561-743-0999. 561-743-0999 and online, jupiterjoe.com. Some crimes make headlines. Others leave behind questions that take years to answer. Crime Explained on YouTube takes you inside real cases with clear factual storytelling. On Crime Explained, there's no hype, no filler, just the facts. From shocking murders and mysterious disappearances to body cam footage, cold cases, criminal psychology, investigations, and courtroom verdicts. Crime Explained on YouTube takes you step by step through what happened, what investigators uncovered, and how each of those cases unfolded. Many cases are ripped right from the headlines, like the Luigi Maggioni trial, along with new true crime documentaries and case breakdowns. If you're fascinated by true crime and want responsible storytelling focused on real cases, real facts, and clear explanations, subscribe to Crime Explained on YouTube. Search Crime Explained 2026. That's Crime Explained 2026 on YouTube. Subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a case. Crime Explained. Real cases, facts explained. Dreaming of South Africa? Experience breathtaking safaris, Cape Town, the Cape Winelands, the Garden Route, and some of Africa's most unforgettable destinations with Grand Crest Travel. From luxury accommodation and private tours to airport transfers, safaris, and complete tailor-made holidays, Grand Crest Travel's South African travel experts take care of your journey from arrival to departure. Visit grandcresttravel.co.za. That's grandcresttravel.co.za and discover South Africa with the people who know it best. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian. This is the Brian Craig Show podcast, available wherever you get podcasts. So let's go back. This is the president talking about Darlene Graham at the rally.
And I want to say hello to a very special person that's with us tonight, Darlene. Because Darlene is somebody I've known for a long time. I asked her to do this. I said, Darlene, you got to do it. Because everyone loves her, everyone respects her. I've known her through Lindsay. I've known her for a long time. I think Lindsay respected Darlene more than any other person he knows, including me. That does not make me happy. I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about that, but one of those things. But
yeah, and you notice this rally, this first big rally we've had in a while, it was inside, if you notice. You know why it was inside with a smaller crowd? You know why? Because the Democrats are trying to kill President Trump all the time. There's all these assassination attempts. They couldn't do a proper rally outside, but they made do inside. They could have had 100,000 show up to see the president with Darlene Graham, but these never Trumpers. But you know what? One of the things about President Trump, he looks great, doesn't he? You know, all these doomsayers, we're losing the war, all this nonsense. Does President Trump look like he has a worry in the world? And he cares very much about winning, right? He cares about winning and winners and being a winner and accomplishing. Does he look like someone who feels like things aren't going his way? He seems great to me. Here he is at the rally last night talking about Iran and the Strait of Hormuz.
They'll never have a nuclear weapon. They want to make a deal so badly. We don't even know if we want, because I view the Strait of Hormuz is an American territory right now. It's an American territory.
Man, what's wrong with that? We've taken it. We've taken their power away. You know, Iran. You know, what is has Iran really been fighting back? Have they? You know why? They can't fight back. They've got nothing to fight back with. You know, they still have they have some spokespeople on X or something, but that's about it. They got nothing. They have no rockets. They've got no Navy. They've got no air power. They've got nothing. And President Trump just took control of what arguably many people believe is the most important bottleneck passage in all of the 7 seas, and that's the Strait of Hormuz, right? It's ours. We took it. Very, very. We sadly lost with around 19 service personnel. It's very sad, but when you consider the scope of what was done, it's the lowest casualty rate probably of any major military action against a power before. These Democrat socialists, though, are psychotic, and the Lincoln Riley Act. Remember, Lincoln Riley, this illegal, grabbed her, and the purpose that he grabbed her for is he was going to rape her, like many of these illegals do to our women. And she fought him off with her life, and he killed her. Didn't sexually assault her, but he murdered her. And the Lincoln Riley Act, I mean, who could be against such a thing? Well, a Democrat, right? Look, this is a Democrat running in New Hampshire.
It's very important to say progressive Democrat because the centrist Democrats are the reason we have Trump 1.0 as well as Trump 2.0. So we cannot ask the centrist Democrats to take us out of this nightmare. We have to turn to the progressive Democrats. Lincoln Riley Act was not mentioned today. We did talk about the terror that ICE is causing in our communities, but that was only possible because of the Lincoln Riley Act. I would never have supported such a racist and xenophobic act, which unfortunately was supported by some of the members on this audience here today, on the stage here today.
Yeah, I mean, who's against an act stopping illegals coming into the country that are coming over here to rape and murder our women? There's a handful of things out there that I thought were universal, right? That we all agree on. We're all against murderers and rapists. Well, that's not true. Democrats are in favor of murderers and rapists. Look at these lunatic women supporting this Lindsay Chancey. I did a whole podcast on that last night. Check it out, guys. I know it's not my usual topic, but it's important. Hundreds of women lining up to celebrate and support a woman who murdered her 3 children. You have a death cult in the Democrat Party. And I'll tell you, when I was younger, and doing this in the 90s, I remember a lot of guys that were Republicans that were my age, then when I was like 20 and things like this. They would say things like, the Democrats they're a death cult with abortion and the child sacrifice, all this. And I was young, so my brain had not fully developed, so I couldn't grasp that. And also because I just couldn't believe that there were people in this country who were a part of a death cult. And now that my brain is fully developed as an adult, and you get more life experience, that's exactly what the Democrats are. Whether it's this Lindsay Chancey that they're supporting, they killed her 3 babies while her husband was off running errands. What a psycho. Or won't stand at the State of the Union when President Trump recognizes Lincoln Riley's mother or other mothers who lost their little girls because they were murdered by the precious Democrat dreamers, the illegals. I mean, they really are a culture of death in the Democrat Party, and they wear it almost as a badge of honor. And it's scary, really. And during the Autopin years, they were the ones running the country. Now, President got a huge victory from the Supreme Court.
But first, breaking tonight, a big win for President Trump. U.S. Supreme Court Chief Justice John Roberts will allow the White House to continue construction on the president's $400 million ballroom project for now. Fox News chief legal correspondent, anchor of Fox News Sunday, Shannon Bream, has our top story. Good evening, Shannon.
Hello, Brett. Well, that order from the Chief Justice came just hours before a lower court decision would have kicked in, forcing a halt to much of the construction on the ballroom complex.
Okay. You notice all the women on Fox are wearing these, I don't know the designer. My wife told me the name. I can't remember, but they all wear like the Jackie Kennedy collection of clothes. This thing with the ballroom, the reason I share this is you've seen all this obstruction that has been going on with these Democrat judges over the Trump administration, right? How many of these liberal judges have stopped the ballroom construction here or there, or a different order the president gave? If, God forbid, the Democrats took over the House of Representatives, the House of Representatives would do what these federal judges are doing. They would impeach President Trump every week to try to stop him. And the way that Democrats define success is if they can stop Trump for just 30 seconds doing anything, they have a win. It's really a crazy way to think. And I've talked a lot about the ballroom, so I won't get too detailed about it other than to say this. Everyone knows the truth of the ballroom, okay? Here's the truth of the ballroom. Number one, the physical ballroom itself is being paid for 100% with private donations, okay, that the president has received. However, the ballroom is not what this project is about. They didn't tear down the East Wing because of a ballroom. The ballroom is a cover story. It was supposed to be, but it got out. They're building a brand new bunker underneath the White House. The presidential nuclear bunker has always been underneath the East Wing. That was classified information. We didn't know about that until this, and it leaked out. But the presidential bunker was built when Harry Truman was president. It wasn't deep, wasn't large, it wasn't deep enough, and certainly not equipped for modern-day weapons and technology. So the ballroom is a cover story to build this massive bunker fortress underneath the White House where the entire government can be run. And they're also building an entire military installation on the White House grounds, including a drone airport on top of the ballroom building. There's a hospital there. And the reason it's so large is because they want to be able to, it's not large for the state events. It'll help with that. The reason it's so large is the entire federal government will be able to run out of the White House ballroom and bunker underneath. You know, I cannot remember the name of the place. Maybe somebody knows. Remember, there's a hotel resort outside of Washington where they have the bunker for the government where the entire Congress can go and the president. You know what I'm talking? I cannot remember the name of the resort. And it's underground, and people give tours of it today. That's what they're building at the White House. Okay? An entire bunker for the entire federal government of the United States, including the Congress, the House and the Senate, to run the government underneath the White House at the ballroom with the new threats that we're facing. The new threats aren't just nuclear bombs. They're all kinds of other things. And the ballroom's a cover. And not only does everyone know this, these obstructionist liberal Obama, Biden, Clinton judges that stop it for a few minutes here and there, they all know it too. Everybody knows this. And they still try to stop it all of the time. Okay, here's the president on the tarmac yesterday. He's talking about Darlene Graham here.
Darlene Graham faced some criticism for her response at a debate earlier this week where she said national security is not her thing. Is that
well, no, all she was is being honest. She's very smart, and she was being honest. I mean, she's into the price of groceries, the price of food, the price of beef, and it hasn't been her thing, but she's surrounded by very good people, and she said that she's totally for the military. I mean, she's going to do what the military wants and really what the president wants. She understands that national security is my thing, and she is a terrific woman who answered. I watched that. I thought it was a very honest answer, actually.
Yeah, exactly. She's likable. Here he is talking about supporting MAGA candidates in the midterms.
I'll be spending a lot of that money and my own money.
Hear that? He's talking about the MAGA PAC and then his own money. Have you ever heard a president, really any politician, but a president talk about spending their own money on anything?
I'll be spending a lot of that money and my own money, but I'll be spending a lot of that money for candidates that I think are good, Republican candidates that I think are good. So when you add the $850 million to all of the other money that we've raised, we're in very good shape.
I've never heard a president talk about spending their own money on anything. Never. Here is Caroline Leavitt, a clip of her. She spoke last night. You can, she's on her way out, going to kind of retire and be a mom.
Hello, South Carolina. Thank you. Well, thank you, Mr. President. You didn't need to bring me up on stage, though I do love a good podium. And I just want to say, President Trump, you are the most consequential and historic president in the history of our great country.
That's right.
And it has been the honor of my life to serve as your White House press secretary, sir. It really has. And I just want to let everyone in this room know how hard this man works for all of you and for every American across the country. Regardless of whether they're a Republican or a Democrat, you call this man at 6 in the morning, you call him at 3 in the morning, he picks up the phone because he's looking out for you. And he needs your help with a Republican Congress for the next 2 years so he can make our country greater and stronger and wealthier than ever before. So get out and vote. Thank you.
You know what's amazing about Caroline Leavitt? It's not just that she's so good; it's that she's so young. When President Trump first announced that she was going to be the White House press secretary, I mean, I knew she was the campaign press person. I thought she was too young. She's the best press secretary we've ever had. She's a very, very wise, she's probably, is she Gen Z or millennial at that age? She's kind of on the cusp of that, isn't she? Is she Gen Z or millennial? I don't know. But she's the most brilliant Gen Z millennial out there. I've never not been impressed by her, right? And she has wisdom and skill sets far beyond her years. Now, I want to talk about Tom Laporta over at Laporta Roofing. Oh my goodness, yesterday afternoon, it was coming down like no one's business here in South Florida. If you're in the state of Florida and you need roof replacement or repair, you want to call Tom Laporta at Laporta Roofing, okay? He's a good MAGA guy who will never sell you a roof you do not need. If you need just a simple repair, you'll do it. He covers both the east and west coast of Florida, from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Gulf of America and everywhere in between. This number rings directly to Tom Laporta. Give him a call, 954-604-4602. 954-604-4602. You can call or text, all right? 954-604-4602. And online, LaportaRoofing.com. We'll be right back.
What if you could understand the Bible as one complete story? From creation to Jesus to the fulfillment of end times prophecy. Now you can with engaging, eye-opening Bible study live streams where Scripture comes together in a clear, easy-to-follow way that will deepen your understanding of God's Word. Discover how the events unfolding in today's world fit into the bigger picture God revealed throughout the Bible. Explore biblical prophecy and what it says about the future. Compare God's truth with Satan's deception. Examine the evidence for creation versus evolution and gain fresh insight into the people, places, and promises found throughout Scripture. Whether you're new to Bible study or have been reading the Bible your entire life, these live streams will help you connect the dots, strengthen your faith, and better understand the times we're living in. Don't miss this opportunity to grow in your knowledge of God's Word. Join these life-changing Bible study live streams right now. Find the link in the description of this episode. Share the link on all your social media so your friends can join in too. Again, the link is in the description of this episode. Look in the description and click it right now. Are you looking for a smarter way to care for your skin and your hair? You can do just that with Valaya AI. Valaya AI is your personal AI wellness coach. With just a quick scan from your phone, Valaya AI analyzes your skin and hair in seconds, providing personalized recommendations for acne, hydration, wrinkles, pigmentation, dryness, hair health, and that's just the beginning. Using advanced artificial intelligence, Valaya AI creates customized morning and evening routines, recommends products tailored to your needs, and even adjusts your care based on the weather, UV index, and seasonal conditions. What are you waiting for? Download Valaya AI right now in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store and discover a smarter, more personalized approach to skin and hair care. Learn more and see how Valaya works online at mindhatch.ca. That's mindhatch.ca. Valaya AI, healthy skin and hair powered by artificial intelligence.
All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm Brian, and this is where MAGA comes to talk. Now, if you'd like to support my program and all my content, become a Patreon supporter. There's a link in the description. of this in every episode. And, you know, when you're a Patreon supporter, you get access to a lot of exclusive content that you will not see anywhere else, including my Patreon-only live streams, which are on the Patreon platform. Now, you have to be a paying Patreon supporter, okay? If you become a free Patreon supporter, you don't have access to any of the content. But becoming a paying Patreon supporter starts at just $5 a month, and you get access to the exclusive content, including the Patreon-only live streams that have a live chat. It is a troll-free zone. I talk about a lot of things I cannot talk about here or anywhere else. And you also get a lot of behind the scenes. Remember, just as an example, yesterday I was having some technical snafus during the radio show. I explained and got into detail on that. I had a crisis happen earlier in the week. Remember, during the show, I got a message. Something happened. I revealed what that was. But I also talk about a lot of issues that I cannot cover here or on the radio or anywhere else. And you get access to that when you become a Patreon supporter. Now, when you become a paying Patreon supporter, not only do you get access to all the upcoming content, you get access to the entire back catalog, which goes back for years and years and years, because I've been on Patreon for a long, long time. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description of the video, guys. So go and check that out. All right. I got a few stories I want to cover here. Katie Britt, I'm going to disagree with her a little bit in a different way. Katie Britt, she was saying yesterday, the Democrat Socialists of America are not the fringe anymore. I understand the point that she's making there, but I disagree with her on that. I think that the Democrat Socialists are the fringe because I think the Democrats are the fringe now. The Democrat Party is on life support as a party right now. That's why the Democrat Socialists are making their move on it. You know, so many people have been red-pilled over the past 2 years. It really started when the president was shot in Butler by the Never-Trumpers. That was the beginning of the end of the Democrat Party because that was a wake-up call to people that they really are after this guy. People who thought you and I were nuts, they look and they say, everything these MAGA people have said is true. They really are after him. That was after those months of the lawfare and the arrest and the breaking into Mar-a-Lago. They were really out of control. And and so I think that the whole Democrat Party is fringe right now. And you see that in my live chats on YouTube. If you see the way these Democrats talk, they're unhinged. None of them are anywhere near halfway coherent. Also, here's something the president is never going to get any credit for. Trump crackdown drives 22% plunge in fentanyl deaths. Think about that. Right, 22% decrease in fentanyl deaths. And that's from shutting down the border and taking out the drug boats. That's a lot of people. This is in the National Pulse, okay? They give you a little, the highlights of the article, you know, everything. The attention span of the American people have gotten so low that news publications only give you the bullet points now. But look at this. Fentanyl-related deaths in the United States fell by 22% from 24 to 2025, according to the Centers for Disease Control, with the Trump administration highlighting its efforts to secure the border and combat drug cartels, including through military force. That's blowing up those boats. Remember how upset the liberals were when he was blowing up the drug boats? Those are fishermen. You know, look at this. The arrest, the attacks. The White House noted a 45% reduction in fentanyl seizures and a decrease in the potency of fentanyl pills. This is all from cracking down on it. So think about all the lives that have been saved. A 22% decrease in fentanyl deaths in the last year because of President Trump's actions, and more are being saved every day. How many thousands of people is that? That's a lot of people, isn't it? Mm-hmm. It really, truly is. Now, Chris Matthews, let me see, do I have the video here? Let me see if I can play the video.
They're going to come up with something.
Yeah, okay, let me pull this. Chris Matthews, listen to this jerk.
They're going to come up with something dirty. They're going to try to make all Democrats into something like the Marxist wing of the DSA. They're going to try to make it really bad, and they're going to make it nasty like they did with the going after the trans kids in the last election. Just remember, People on the sidelines of an NFL game, all of a sudden they're watching this new ad in the third quarter of the game. Where'd that ad come from? What's all this about? As Karl Rove told me, the Republicans are good at that last 6 weeks where they come up with something really nasty like Willie Horton. By the way,
it's so funny when you listen to these guys. Willie Horton was a real thing. I'm not going to go through the whole Willie Horton thing. You guys, if you don't know about Willie Horton, you need to catch up. But that was true. Everything about Willie Horton, that was all true stuff. And it said everything you need to know about Democrats.
He was never Willie in his whole life. They came up with the name Willie because they wanted to sound black. Excuse me. They are very good at confecting this stuff.
Notice how he's leaving out the murders and the rape. Chris Matthews. He's upset that he never went by Willie, but they called him Willie. He's not upset about the victims, the murder victims and the rape victim.
And I can see they can do something with the DSA, and they're going to make them into real Marxists. They're going to play the game. Personally, I think AOC is as American as apple pie. It won't work with her. It may work with some others, but I think they're going to get nasty.
See, Chris Matthews is all excited that AOC did the video on the way to the gym in her skin tights, right? And remember, she did that video the other day in her sports bra. I guess Chris Matthews saw it, and he's got another thrill going down his leg like he did with Obama.
And I think it's going to be a really great close.
Remember the ad against Kamala Harris 2 years ago about the surgeries in prisons and all of that stuff.
Well, that was true. They were giving sex change operations to people in prison. The things they're all citing as smears are all truths that are brought to you by the Democrat Party. Now, I read this on the podcast last night, and I'm going to read it again now. This is the third time I've read this. I read this on the radio yesterday morning at the very end of the radio show. I read this at the end of my podcast last night, and I'm going to read it again. This letter is becoming, with me lately, like the snake poem with President Trump, right? And this is Natalie Harp's letter to President Trump, okay? And the reason I'm reading the letter is because this is being portrayed as a love letter, right? The New York Times, Natalie Haberman, who was given the Pulitzer Prize for the Russia story that was debunked, right? Very credible reporter, fake news reporter, right? And she was talking about this love letter they obtained. Here it is. This is, first, as I said before, this is a typed letter. Love letters are not typed. She signed her name by hand, Natalie, at the bottom, but the letter is, and this letter is on my ex, at Brian Craig Show. And when you go through this letter, have you ever heard of a love letter being typed? I've never heard of that. But when you look at this letter, she had gotten into some trouble. She was dropping the ball at work. She was afraid she was going to be fired. So she wrote this letter to her boss, who just happened to be the president of the United States, Donald Trump. And she's trying to keep her job. That's it. Love letters are not typed, people. Have you ever heard of a typed love letter? Oh my goodness. But I'm going to read through the letter again, and it's a technical letter. Right? It's a technical letter. And when you read the whole letter, and first off, just the fact that it's typed blows it out of the water. But when you read the whole letter, you see it's a technical letter of a girl who's afraid she's going to get fired. And like all MAGA people, she loves and admires Donald Trump, and she doesn't want to be fired by this great man. All right? So here it is. Dear Mr. President, I'm sorry. I thought I was the only one left behind last night, and had no idea Margot's car was pulled over and sent back to the airport also. Since I was alone in the van outside customs without my passport, I panicked and should have just called Secret Service instead of you. So see, she called him on his private phone, and I guess that got her in some trouble because you're not supposed to do that. I am also sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland. See, do you know why when she was walking with others that she stands out? Because she's blonde and pretty, so everybody's eyes gravitate towards her, right? I am also sorry if I was an embarrassment walking the course in Scotland. The first day, I was told there were no carts and people walked, which is why I walked. The second day, I was specifically asked by, I forgot who his name was, but one of the main people who worked there if I could continue walking and tell any other girls who would head out there to do the same to spare the course any more carts. Meaning they didn't want to have too many golf carts on the greens. If there is anything else I have done to cause you trouble, please forgive me. I know that some people have said I haven't been texting them back, and there have been some international cell issues. John was having technical issues on the plane too, so asked me to help him out. A technical letter trying to save her job. Okay, here's the second paragraph. I want things to always be right between us. I also know I have been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days and even forgetting to sleep and only catching a couple hours at a time. I haven't been myself, dwelling on the past and the pain of losing my dad. And I started letting the remarks of people who haven't bothered me before get to me. That's like the press and stuff, right? Not because I care what others think, but because I see myself being lowered in your eyes in good opinion. That is the fear, you see, because I never want to bring you anything but joy. I'm sorry I lost my focus. You are all that matters to me. I don't want to ever let you down. Thank you for being my guardian and protector in this life. That's what I wanted to use this card for. When you saw me at the cash register and once again did what you didn't have to do and gifted me with mementos of this trip of a lifetime, a coming of age, I will return a better person. I have to sign off now as the cars are leaving. See you soon. With all my heart, Natalie. That is a technical letter from a girl who's afraid of getting fired by the man she admires most, the President of the United States, Donald Trump. That's it. And it's typed. No romance. No love. No nothing. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Good morning, Brian. Doc from Texas.
Hey, Doc.
How you this morning on a Saturday morning?
I am always doing well.
Well, that's good. That's good. Hey, you say Iran said they won't call Trump and they say they won't out. They done.
I'll pull up the article. The president of Iran, actually. Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Really?
Hold on a second. Hold on. Just hold your horses. I'm in no hurry here. Yeah, hold on. Here it is. It's right here. He gave a speech in Iran. Iran president calls for end to war. He is calling on the hardliners to end the war in Iran because they're financially broke. I read the entire article at the beginning of the episode.
No, I didn't see that.
Well, you can rewind and go back.
Okay.
That's a good thing, isn't it? That's a good thing. That basically it's a surrender, an official surrender. He's saying that they're economically on the verge of collapse. Is that a good thing to you?
Please. Nope.
Really? It's not a good thing if Iran... Wait a minute. It's not a good thing if Iran loses the war?
Wait. Brian, Iran is not going to surrender. Them people...
I'm allergic to stupidity. That's why I'm sneezing. Is it a good thing for... Is it a good thing for Iran to lose?
Iran is never going to lose. Those people are fighters. Those people will fight you to the end. Because how you think they get... Brian... They would never lose.
Hold on a second. Is your name Doc or Baghdad Bob? You guys remember Baghdad Bob?
My name is Doc. My name is Bob.
Okay.
Brian, you see, what you don't understand, nobody wins a war. Nobody.
Nobody wins a war?
Nobody.
Really? So the United States and the Allies, we didn't win World War II?
We came out of that because we bombed the hell out of Japan.
Yeah, but we won, right? We won?
Nobody
won.
Wins,
okay, we didn't
Brian,
win the Second World War.
Okay,
we didn't win the Second World
War. Brian, nobody wins a war. Somebody surrenders.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody surrenders.
Okay. What about the American Revolution? Did we win the American Revolution?
Nobody wins, Brian.
Okay. Did we win the Civil War?
Nobody wins, Brian.
Okay. What about the Gulf War? Oh my goodness.
Oh, Brian, I'm gonna keep saying that because nobody wins a war. Okay, so one thing I was watching this morning. When will I forgot the vice president name. God have mercy. I forgot the man's name.
I don't know.
Vice president name.
J.D. Vance.
I forgot his name.
J.D. Vance.
J.D. Vance. When he and all Scott Besson and all of them stop blaming Biden for stuff and Biden been out of office almost over a year and a half. And why? When will they stop blaming Biden for everything and take coming here every day? Because Trump is president. They're not going to blame Trump for nothing. Because you know what? I came to the conclusion. The reason y'all do that with Trump is y'all scared of Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all really scared
well,
of Trump.
I don't know. I don't know the specific. I don't know the specific things. Excuse me. I don't know the specific things you're referencing that they're talking about with Biden. But a lot of the things we're dealing with are the after effects of Biden's 4 years.
A lot of things we dealing with. Because Trump did it.
Yeah, good things. Good things.
Bad things.
Like look what he did. Like look what he did yesterday. He's ridding us of the beef tariff to lower food prices on beef products.
And the farmers are pissed at him behind that.
Farmers. What do farmers have to do with beef? Beef comes from the cattle ranchers. Farmers grow foods. You don't farm cattle.
I'm not stupid. Come on, Brian. I'm just saying the cattle. Okay, everybody's pissed at him behind that, and I'm glad because that's what happens when you put a fool in office. You get foolish stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like bringing 25 million illegals into the country to rape, pillage, steal, and murder. Yeah, that was pretty stupid for Biden to do.
And I was right about the aircraft carriers because I saw it several times yesterday on TV.
What'd you see? A starving sailor?
They are trying to name that aircraft carrier, take it from that black man, that the war hero, and give it to Trump. But Trump, they said they'd never do nothing like that. Trump never fought. Captain Bone Spurs never fought nothing. Only thing he fought is trying to get a plate of food to his mouth.
What? You're babbling.
What? You heard what I said. You heard what I said.
No, you were kind of saying weird things.
You know what I said. You heard what I said.
Oh.
Trump has never fought a war. All thing he fought is trying to get a fork in his mouth to eat.
To get a what in his mouth to eat?
Pork.
Pork. What, you're against pork?
You know what? Bye. Because see, you called me.
All right. Yeah, okay, bye. I mean, I don't understand. You're now an advocate against pork? The left are losing it, man. The left is losing it. If you're new to my program, make sure that you subscribe, guys, all right? And whatever podcast platform you're listening on, make sure that you follow and subscribe. It's always free to do. And those of you that are watching on YouTube, please like the video. When you like the video, it gets the video recommended to people that have not yet found my channel. So please like the video, all right? Let's take some more calls. I got to tell you, though, Doc in Texas, is he not devolving? Sounds like he's devolving to me. If you'd like to call in, by the way, you're welcome. The number is toll-free. It's pinned in the live chat, 888-465-2631. You're on the air. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, Brian. Good morning. It's JJ from Mass.
Oh, hey, JJ. What's up?
Hey, just trying to mute the TV. There we go. Nope.
Do you watch me on TV or on like a mobile device?
No, TV.
Yeah, TV. See, I gotta start looking pretty.
TV, YouTube. Yeah. Got the big screen up, and sometimes I listen to you when I'm in the kitchen from the.
Do you know that more people watch YouTube on television than watch Netflix?
Well,
that's true. It just happened this year. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, that's an interesting statistic. I myself, I mean, I watch YouTube, but I do watch a bunch. We get hooked on the series. Some of the series. Mm-hmm. My sister loves the South Korean rom-com stuff, and I go into Netflix and I'm like, everything is like Asian kung fu love stuff, and I'm like, where the hell did all this go?
The Korean TV, the Korean shows are good. I've watched quite a few of them.
She loves them.
They're very good.
Yeah, they're normal. They're normal. It's like the new. I can't think of the company that came out. I can't even think of the name right now, but they do like traditional.
But you know what's weird is I watch some of the South Korean shows. They got some the South Korean shows. They've got remember that show a few years ago with Kiefer Sutherland, Designated Survivor, where he was the secretary of and he became president. There's a Korean version of that. There's the Korean Designated Survivor. It's really good.
That does sound interesting.
It's better than the one here.
I'll check that out. Yeah, I mean, I like Designated Survivor. I watched pretty much all of that.
It went down the tubes when they started blaming Blackwater for it and all that. And
it follows something. It follows a lot of times it follows the politics, and it can be a little bit like give me a break.
The Korean Designated Survivor not only is good, it's much better than the American one from the beginning. It's really good, and they have a different system of government. So when they have a disaster like that in Korea, they name a temporary president, I think, for 40 days. So there's an intensity. It's really good. It's like 24 was in the early days. But anyway, enough of television.
I'm going to check it out.
But the thing is, when I watch something with subtitles, I get so engrossed into it that I forget they're speaking Korean or whatever language, and then I'll turn my head, and then all of a sudden I realize it's not English. And
you pay more attention, right?
Yes.
Because that's what you pay more attention. You have to.
Yeah.
You pay more attention. I think anyway.
Anyway, what's on your mind?
I was just going to say with Doc's logic. I mean that sounds kind of strange even saying that, but how to never win. I'm just like when Doc, I would say to you, when nobody wins at war, well, somebody just surrenders. Well, who do they surrender to? Do they surrender to the loser or the winner?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a winner in war. In the story he was talking about with the aircraft carrier, I think he's talking about Doris Miller, the black gentleman who manned a gun, got some. I think they want to put him up for.
Medal of Honor.
Medal of Honor. Yeah, they want to put him up for the Medal of Honor. And if Trump does, they're not going to remove him permanently if they do name the ship after Trump, and I doubt Trump will allow that to happen. But if they do, they'll use Doris Miller on the next ship. They'll just switch the names around. That's not a big.
I know all about the story. I'm just giving Doc a hard time. Doc doesn't know about the story. He only knows a headline that he heard somebody say.
Half the time, Brian, or not even half the time, probably like 99 times or 90 times out of 100, I don't mention what I just did because I know I know you're doing that, and it's just. But sometimes it just. Doc's insanity. When it gets to a certain level, it's like
first off, to name, I could be wrong about this. While they have named ships after presidents. They typically do it after they're no longer president.
Correct.
Right? Not while they're a sitting president, and also I know there's the Washington, which is an exception because he's the father of the country. But mostly they're named after presidents who have served in the Navy, like President Kennedy, President Ford, and H.W. Bush. I don't know, there may be. I'm sure there's exceptions to every rule, but that's typically it. It's like that's it. It's a stupid discussion to have with Doc. It's just not worthy.
Yeah, it just kind of it does kind of. I can listen to it's sort of like you get your fill and then like enough. Anyway. So to better news, to me, Darlene, Lindsay's sister, awesome. I used to live in Myrtle Beach, by the way. I lived there for a couple of years, and it's just watching her speak and the slow and the tone and I remember, I don't know, maybe in the first 6 months I was there, I had more people in Myrtle Beach ask me why I talked so fast. Why do you talk so fast?
Because they're slow in South Carolina?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's everything, Brian. I'm telling you.
Everything's slow.
Just go if you live there. The way that they
Well, when I was a kid, in the 70s, my parents were divorced and my dad moved to Florida. So, and my grandparents were here. So I used to come to Florida in the summers in the 70s and before I lived here. And it was the deep South then, like South Carolina. It's changed a lot. It's much more cosmopolitan. So I remember what it was like in those. So, when I first started school in Florida, my first year of school in Florida was 5th grade. So I'm thinking that was around 1981. I was in shock. You had to say yes, ma'am, and yes, sir to the teachers. You were required to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. They would correct you hard. I never heard that before. Southern hospitality, that was good stuff.
When I went to school, Brian, a little, I think I'm about 8 or 9 years older than you. When I went to school, it was yes, Mrs. McCulloch, or
Mm-hmm.
yes, Mrs. Bond,
Yeah.
yes, Mrs. Robbins. I remember all of my grade school teachers.
Mm-hmm.
My second grade teacher, Mrs. McCulloch, was about the size of a Mack truck. She was huge.
Yeah.
She once, now when I was younger, I was on crutches for 3 years when I was in school.
Oh, wow.
I have a disease in my hip, and
Mm-hmm.
I was out back, but I could still run around, but I wasn't supposed to because it was bad for I had this disease in my hip. And she found out that I was running around or whatever, and she picked up. I had one of those in second grade. You had a chair and a desk that were all one piece, all connected.
Mm-hmm.
It was metal and heavy, and I'm sitting in it. And she came over to that desk with me sitting in it and picked the whole damn thing up and started shaking it, telling me that I better use my crutches.
Oh, my goodness.
She picked me, the desk, and the chair up. She was like, I mean, if Bigfoot had any competition, it would have been Mrs. McCulloch.
Yeah, and our teachers didn't
you know,
have green and blue hair either, like dyed,
no,
unless they were really old lady.
Always a dress with length, below the knee, just the sweetest. And every time I think about, and I needed that. Because I was kind of worried about her because she was so big. But then my parents found out I wasn't using my crutches. That was probably the most fearful thing I had.
Well, the difference between teachers then and now is those were teachers who cared, and today the teachers are activists.
Yeah.
Liberal activists.
Then it was about teaching. It was about teaching. I look at that letter that you brought up. I'm glad you put that up. I look at that from Natalie, and I look at it. Yeah, it's definitely a don't fire me, but I think it's not as much don't fire me as it is please don't be disappointed in me. Here are the reasons, not the excuses, but here are the reasons. Here's what happened. Just don't think ill of me. Don't think bad of me. And what a job to have as a young woman or a young man working in the Trump administration, because it is the most. I can't think of any job I would rather have as a young man, or even right now, working for the Trump administration. You're like you're like a soldier of God in a way. To me, that's the way I look at it, because it's really everything he's doing is about. It's about good. It's goodness.
Well, you know what it is with President Trump. President Trump is to us what Kennedy was to that generation in many ways, right? All that Camelot era. There was just, and you can't explain it.
I can see that easy. Yeah, absolutely. Very good comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just it's hard not. We were sitting here, my sister and I'm watching political stuff, and sometimes she'll just get involved with one of her. I don't know if she has an iPad or whatever. She watches or does puzzles or whatever she's doing, but she's listening. And Donald Trump was talking, but she was hearing his voice, but doing her puzzle. And then very quietly, I heard my sister say, "I love that man."
Yeah.
Talking about Trump, because he said something that was just so honest, just so damn truthful. And it has become such an event.
Yeah.
When you hear somebody speak the truth with all the, watching the media, it's like a constant, it's like dirty. It's like you almost got to take a shower.
Exactly.
Afterwards. They do nothing but lie. And when she heard him say that, and I looked over. I looked over, and she wasn't even looking at the TV. She just heard it. And she just said, "I love that man."
Yeah.
And I was like, "That's America. That's what America.
Exactly.
That's what normal America.
Well,
that's
the thing with MAGA. All MAGA people love President Trump. And that's something that the politicians know this, and that's one of the reasons they hate him and hate us. They don't understand it. They should have got in on the Trump train, and they wouldn't have these problems. Listen, a good call. I appreciate the call.
Take care.
All right, take care. Speaking of the lunatics on the left, I wanted to share some of these clips of the Lindsey Clancy supporters. And this really took me back when I saw this yesterday. Lindsey Clancy, if you're not familiar, she's the woman who killed her 3 little children while her husband was out at the store. And women all over America are defending her and rallying around her, and I find this crazy. Look at this. Now, this is a video of Lindsay Clancy driving from the jailhouse to the courthouse for her murder trial. Now, remember, she murdered her 3 little babies, and look at these women in their pink shorts and pink shirts and pink pants and everything else as this murderer of 3 children goes by. That van has a woman who murdered her 3 innocent babies in it, and they're cheering. If liberalism is not a mental disorder, I don't know what it is. I mean, it's completely evil. And then some of them did some interviews, and it's beyond twisted. Look at this.
I felt like the system failed her. She was begging for help, but no one was there. I don't know if us being here will make her feel any better, but I mean, she's living in hell right now.
Just wanted to support Lindsay and just say it could be, one of my sister-in-laws. It could be one of my best friends.
One of her sister-in-laws or best friends could kill their 3 children? Is that what kind of associations does this woman have?
Could be me. So.
Her? She said it could be her. Let me hear. She said it could be her. What? She could be the one that killed her 3 children?
One of my sister-in-laws. It could be one of my best friends, and it could be me. So just here to support.
We are hearing her. We see that she tried everything. And I really do believe that she went into a state of psychosis.
Clancy. A case of psychosis? So what? So what? This is her hired liar, her scumbag lawyer.
Reporters call her attorney Kevin Reddington a champion of women's rights.
The women's rights to murder their children.
Is she aware of this support, and what does she think of this support?
I'm going to go in and see her right now. I'm sure that she is, and if she isn't, she will be.
What do you think about it?
She's so beat up and just so sad. This will really help her out, I think.
Tell her we love her. The crowd of about 200 to 300 people lined the road as Lindsay Clancy was brought into the courthouse.
I hope when this is all over that the medical field gets, held responsible for some of this, because she tried desperately to get help, and it wasn't there. Whether she's guilty, innocent, it doesn't really matter. 3 lives are gone.
Look at those babies she killed.
Just get to the truth. That's all.
Get to the truth. We know the truth. She confessed. Think about it. This woman confessed to the murders of her 3 children, right? And these women are out there supporting her, whatever that means. And now here's some interviews. This guy here, listen to this.
To the people that are upset and believe that she killed her 3 children and she should be convicted, what would be your message to them?
I'm so grateful for you that you never experienced even remotely what women experience in postpartum.
This postpartum depression is a free pass to kill your children. And that's a postpartum depression is a diagnosis of opinion. It's not like a fact. I talk a lot about how I have high cholesterol, right? When I go and get my blood work done and they test my cholesterol, that is a fact, right? They've done a test and you see it. Postpartum depression is the opinion of a doctor, right? Or maybe even can a psychologist diagnose someone with postpartum depression? That's an opinion. That's not a factual thing. But let's say it is. So what? Because somebody is suffering from depression, it's okay for them. A lot of people are suffering from depression. It's okay to kill your 3 babies? What's the matter with these women?
Message to them.
I'm so grateful for you that you never experienced even remotely what women experience in postpartum.
Yeah, and admittedly, she did admit to killing them, but the woman you see now is completely different from the woman who did that to her kids. And I think it's really difficult for people to hold two truths that may seem opposite simultaneously. She can be a wonderful, loving mother, and she did this horrible thing.
She can be a wonderful, loving mother, and murder her children. She can be both? I don't think so.
That
was Scott Peterson a loving husband and father? He murdered his wife and their child. Oh, but he's a loving father. He just happened to murder his child and his wife.
she was so sick. I mean, I've seen the testimony every day. I can see how devastated she is, and I believe her. I believe her.
Well, does she believe her confession? Because she did confess. So why has this happened? Listen to this. So why are these psycho-liberal women with their pink shirts and pink shorts, why are they defending her? Not all women have lost their minds. Listen to this woman.
So I keep seeing people talk about the Lindsay Clancy case, and a bunch of conservatives are asking themselves, like, how did we get here as a society where a huge number of women are defending Lindsay Clancy, who murdered 3 of her children by strangling them to death? Like, what is wrong with the women right now? And I'll tell you how we got here. It's because over 25% of women in America today have done exactly what Lindsay has done. They did the exact same thing. They murdered their children, right? They murdered their helpless, innocent children, all because they didn't want them. They were in the way. And so of course they empathize with her. Of course they're trying to cover up their own guilt for what they did by justifying what another woman did when she snuffed out her own children. It's the natural way that you try to cope with sin, right? If you have a problem with drinking, you surround yourself with other people who drink a lot. If you have a problem with cursing, you surround yourself with people who curse a lot. If you have a problem with murder, if you murdered your child and haven't repented for it, then you justify other people who murdered their children, and you all can sit around and ignore the feeling of being a monster because, well, we all did it, right? So it's not that bad. That's what's at play right now. That is what's happening, is we have a bunch of women who actually have murdered their own children, and so when they see another woman who murdered their own children, they empathize with her, they sympathize with her, and they justify it because, well, she had a reason, right? That's what's happening right now. And our nation desperately needs to repent of our child sacrifice, whether it's children in the womb or children outside of the womb. It's a problem, and it is definitely impacting society in serious ways that we've been ignoring for a long time. And now it's just become like so in our face that we can't ignore it anymore. And people are asking how we got here. Child sacrifice. That's how we got here. We need to abolish it.
It's about abortion. And, mental illness. Yeah, people, the Parkland shooter was mentally ill. Because someone's mentally ill doesn't mean they get a free pass to murder, right? And then Candace Owens. Now, Candace Owens is really disturbing to me because she did that debate, right, with that weirdo guy and Patrick Bet-David last week. And she's 7 months pregnant. She might be 8 months by now. She was 7 months pregnant during that debate. So, and she is 7, maybe 8 months pregnant, and Candace Owens is defending this child murderer.
I made my thoughts clear on this the moment that she was arrested, the moment that it made the news. Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are a fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned for what they put her on. I regularly speak out against Big Pharma. They get away with murder all the time. And in this case, they are getting away with the murder of really her 3 children, but also completely destroyed her life. Lindsay Clancy, in my opinion, is not guilty. She was put into an intentional psychosis when she probably just needed to give her kids away for a weekend to get better, but they constantly give you these drugs that do not make things better. And the cocktail of 10 pharmaceuticals that she was on is absolute madness. Absolute madness.
Okay, now, I mean, that's pretty disturbing for a woman who's very, very pregnant right now, like Candace Owens, to say something like that. Now, with Candace, you never really know with Candace. Is she just trying to grab onto this trend and try to get these women to watch her podcast, or does she actually believe it? You never really know with Candace. So a huge chunk of the women defending Lindsay Clancy certainly are women who have had abortions, but some of them are just man-haters. Look at this woman.
I'm being totally serious here. Any other New England ladies like myself, and yes, I'm a lady before the men start saying, yes, sir. I'm so used to that fucking bullshit. Men are fucking trash.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, there you go. That's a Lindsay Clancy defender right there. Yeah. Yeah, she has a very high opinion of men. And on the other side, below, that's the psycho Lindsay Clancy. And then above is a photograph of her 3 babies that she murdered. All right, let's...
Lady before the men start saying, yes, sir. I'm so used to that fucking bullshit. Men are fucking trash. Anyway, my point is, how many other New England girlies would like to take the day off from work and drive up to the courthouse to show our support and advocacy for Lindsay Clancy? We ride at dawn. Seriously, like, let me know if you're down for that.
I have decided I'm going to send Lindsay Clancy a letter of encouragement. Of course, I'm not going to mention anything about like the case or anything.
A letter of encouragement. Remember, she's on trial for murdering her 3 babies, and she confessed to doing it. So what is a letter of, is she encouraging her to kill more babies? What would you be encouraging Lindsay Clancy to do here?
Anything like that. But I did want to write to her and tell her that there are so many women that are out here praying for her. I think some words of encouragement might bring a smile to her. I don't know if she's able to receive any mail or not, but at least I want to try.
Do you guys think that Lindsay Clancy is gonna like know about us? Like that we're all here like standing behind her? Like is she gonna ever find out about us? Like her little army?
She acts like she's like somebody's mistress, and she's wondering if the wife's going to find out about her.
Like, do you think we'll ever become her friends? Like will she talk to us? Is she going to thank us? Like,
her cat's in distress in the background. Go help your cat, lady.
I don't think she'll ever know, like, what happened and how, like, we rallied. She has this is more supportive than I've ever had any friends be in my life. Sorry guys, but yeah.
Oh yeah, she's got some. I tell you, single men out there, you've got some slim pickings. You really do. There's some really crazy ladies out there. And she's got this really scummy lawyer, okay? This is Lindsay Clancy's lawyer. By the way, if you're new to the program, welcome. Make sure that you subscribe. And if you all could do me the favor of liking the video, when you like the video, you get the video recommended to people that have not yet found my channel. So please like the video, guys, if you don't mind. This is Lindsay Clancy's attorney. This guy, he's a scummy guy. He looks kind of like an overweight Biden, doesn't he, with those glasses? And he's going up to this reporter, and the reporter is wearing a pink suit, I guess in support of this baby killer, Lindsay Clancy. And he actually hits on the reporter during the interview. Listen.
What do you think of the support for Lindsay Clancy out here?
I have no words.
No words?
It's amazing.
What are you going to tell her when you get in there before court starts about what's out here?
Well, I'll tell her what's out here. That's all I can say. I like your outfit. It looks
thank
good.
you.
I like your outfit. It looks good. Is he coming on to her? What do you guys think? Sounds like he's coming. That's her lawyer. What a scummy guy.
Tell her what's out here. That's all I can say. I like your outfit. It looks
thank
good.
you. What do you plan to do today before you rest your case?
Cross-examine their experts.
I mean, these women are nuts. They've got pink shirts, pink shorts. She's got a pink suit. This woman here has a pink phone. They're really into the pink.
They're going to put them on today. And then I'll probably have a Zoom tomorrow with one more witness.
Okay. Do you expect court to go again for the rest?
The argument should be Monday, hopefully.
Okay. How do you think it's going, your case?
Never predict, I mean, we got jurors that are spending literally 5 weeks of their time on this case, which I love that. I think it's amazing. It's been going good.
You've been here weeks and you've been having your eyes on the jury. They've been taking lots of notes. What are you thinking? Do you feel confident that they're
very, very attentive, and they're putting a lot of work. They always do. They put a lot of work into the case. It's very moving for them. They don't forget it.
Mr. Reddington, what's your message to all these folks who are here today?
Thank you. That's all I can say. It's amazing.
We love you, Kevin.
Kevin, are you surprised at just how much attention this case?
These women, they love the lawyer, they love the child killer. I've never seen it. This is worse than OJ, because she's confessed. So they're justifying it. OJ never confessed until that book later, but
Case has gotten. I mean, people are coming from Maine.
It's the message. It really is. It's the message that just has reverberated, throughout the whole country.
What is that
Reddington's
message?
fighting for women's rights.
No, I
for
don't. I
healthcare.
think that it's the mental health system.
everyone who commits murder is mentally ill. People that are sane don't kill other people. Everyone who's in prison for murder is a mental patient.
I hate to use the word health care because unfortunately in this case we can see it hasn't been health care, and I think that it shines a light on this issue. I mean, when a woman is going through what so many people do and they go to a doctor and the doctor says, here, take this pill, take that pill, take this pill, and then they basically treat them for 15, 20 minutes and send them on their way. It's just not right.
And to those who can't wrap their heads around sympathizing with a mother who killed her 3 children, what do you say to them?
I think it's almost like when you're picking a jury and sometimes somebody will say, well, I don't agree with, this allegation of murder. I mean, none of us do. But that's what we have juries for. They pass between the government and a defendant to see if they can prove their case.
What do you think of
support, and what does she think of this support?
I'm going to go in and see her right now. I'm sure that she is, and if she isn't, she will be. And
What do you think about?
She's so beat up and just so sad, but this will really help her out, I think. That's awesome.
Tell her we love her. What do you think about
Tell her
being
we
the
love her.
advocate for
Oh.
all women right now?
She's an advocate for all women? Is that what she said? Hold on, let me rewind that.
Sad, but this will really help her out, I think. That's awesome.
Tell her we love her. What do you think about
I will.
you being the advocate for all women right now?
She's saying that the lawyer, the defense attorney, is an advocate for all women. He's defending a woman who killed all 3 of her children. How is that advocating for women?
No.
I'm not an advocate.
You are. But you are. But you are.
Oh my goodness, that is one of the that may be the sleaziest defense attorney I've ever seen, and that says a lot. Now I want to share this. Okay, this girl here, she killed her baby. Her name's Lincoln Snelling. She killed her baby. She confessed. Should she get away with it?
I was under a lot of emotional distress, and my baby came unexpectedly. And instead of helping him, I ended his life. And afterwards, I cleaned up and didn't tell him.
Okay. So tell me, when you say instead of helping him, you did what?
I ended his life.
How did you end his life, ma'am?
I deprived him of oxygen.
Okay. All right. And did you tell me about this tampering with physical evidence? What did you do with the evidence that could have been collected?
I put the towels in a plastic bag.
Okay. And what about this concealing the birth?
I didn't tell anyone after.
Okay. All righty. So are you pleading guilty today of your own free will without any threats, pressures, or promises from anyone to get you to do so?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, why are we sending her to prison? She only killed 1 of her children. Lindsay Clancy killed 3, right? And for those that are saying that, just a note of correction here, for those that are saying it's all liberal white women, well, I guess Candace is the outlier because she's not liberal and she's not white.
I made my thoughts clear on this the moment that she was arrested, the moment that it made the news. Lindsay Clancy is obviously not guilty. There are a fleet of doctors who should be imprisoned for what they put her on. I regularly speak out against Big Pharma. They get away with murder all the time. And in this case, they are getting away with the murder of really her 3 children, but also completely destroyed her life. Lindsay Clancy, in my opinion, is not guilty. She was put into an intentional psychosis when she probably just needed to give her kids away for a weekend to get better, but they constantly give you these drugs that do not make things better. And the cocktail of 10 pharmaceuticals that she was on is absolute madness. Absolute madness.
I just can't believe that Candace Owens, she's 7 or 8 months pregnant, and she's talking this way. That is, it's a natural instinct to, as a parent, to defend your child, even with your own life, no matter what you're suffering through. And there's been a lot of people out there that have killed their kids over the years. I've never seen them defend. Who was that one guy a couple years back who had a girlfriend and he killed his wife and children, his babies, and he put them in the barrels and buried them? Remember that guy? You know, he obviously had some mental problems. Should he be allowed to get away with it, or is it just this one particular woman? You know, and there's been many other child killers, Susan Smith, all these others. Everybody knows. I've just never seen it. It is over 50 years of the culture of death of the Democrat advocacy for abortion certainly plays a big, big role in all of this. Now, those of you that are new to my channel, make sure that you subscribe. And if everyone could like the video, I'd greatly appreciate that, guys. When you like the video, you get it recommended to people that have not yet found my channel. So please like the video. My name is Brian Craig. This is where MAGA comes to talk. I will talk to you next time. Take care.